Hi, welcome to CISSP Nights Daily Questions and Answers. Our next question is: which of the following authentication protocols encrypts usernames and passwords? Select the best answer. Is it TechX Plus? Is it CHAP, PAP, or Radius? So the question here is: it encrypts both usernames and passwords. So we will select A and then check out the answer. Yes, TechX Plus encrypts username and passwords. It's a Cisco proprietary protocol used during authentication, authorization, and accounting. So unlike other AAA protocols like Radius, TechX Plus provides more flexible control over user access privileges. Okay, Radius does not encrypt usernames. However, it is a standard AAA protocol created by IETF. Compared to TechX Plus, Radius has several limitations. Radius encrypts only the passwords. It does not encrypt the entire contents of a packet like TechX Plus does. So PAP does not encrypt username and passwords. Okay, and also it is sent over the link in plain text. CHAP, however, also does not encrypt username or passwords. Okay, and when CHAP is used, the server client must each be configured with a shared secret password. When a client wants to authenticate, the server sends a challenge to an authenticating user. So what happens is a CHAP server periodically re-authenticates clients by using a new challenge for each authentication and mitigates the playback attacks. So basically, TechX Plus is the only authentication protocol which encrypts both usernames and passwords. Let's move to next question. Which of the following step comes latest in development of a business continuity plan? Select the best answer. It is one of the most important questions, I would say, because 2 or 3 questions are definitely related to BCP in the exam. So first choice is identify preventive controls, conduct a business impact analysis, develop recovery strategies, and develop IT contingency plan. So choose option number D. Let's see what is the answer. Yes. This is the main steps which we have to remember. We have to develop a policy statement. As we all know, policy is always approved or defined by the C-level managers such as CEO, CFO, and CIO. They are responsible for developing and agreeing to the BCP policy statement. Next step is conduct a business impact analysis. Okay, in which what happens is for each system and process we define or assign a MTD, maximum tolerable downtime, and that is used to prioritize the recovery of assets in a BCP or a DRP. Okay, any inefficiencies or vulnerabilities found during the BIA should be documented and addressed. Okay, next step is after the BIA is complete, then we have to identify the preventive controls, okay, which is used to mitigate the disruption in the services. And the cost of the preventive control should be weighed against the risk of an event occurring and the potential loss associated with that risk event. Okay, after preventive controls are identified, a high-level recovery strategy should be developed. The recovery strategy should include a prioritized list of the systems and services that should be restored. Okay, the systems which are identified in the BIA which as like most critical ones should be restored first. This recovery strategy must be created or at the very least agreed by executive management. After recovery strategies have been developed, IT staff should develop a DRP as well, which is an IT contingency plan. The DRP should contain detailed procedures for restoring IT services in the event of a disaster. Like the list of systems and services should be prioritized so that most critical systems are restored first. Okay, and then uh, whatever we make our disaster recovery plans, they should be tested, they should be verified. Okay, just to identify the gaps in the process. And the last one is to perform the DCP or DRP maintenance, which is really important as well. Okay, I think this is really the most important, in which we can check out different processes. A structured walkthrough, which is also called a tabletop exercise, a simulation in which no actual recovery occurs, but the team members simply talk through the process in order to identify any logical inconsistencies or planning gaps. Okay, simulation test is also called a walkthrough drill. Is a simulation where team members actually carry out the recovery processes. Failover sites are brought online, emergency power is started, and services are restored. So to minimize the disruption to the business, simulation tests should be performed after regular business hours. If it is not possible to perform the test after hours, the relevant staff member should be notified well in advance of the simulation test. As system services are added or removed, DCP and DRP should be updated to reflect these changes. So at least they should be done once a year. Like they should be reviewed after 3 months, and formal audit should be performed annually. So once a year we should really go through DCP and our DRPs, just to avoid any surprises. Okay, let's move to the next question. Which of the following is responsible for issuing digital certificates? Okay, is it domain registrar? Nope. Is it network admin? Is it ISP, service provider, or a certificate authority? So we will choose option D. Let's see the answer. A certificate authority is responsible for issuing digital certificates. Okay, it contains individual name, company address, or the phone numbers. Okay, and these companies can use a third-party CA as well to obtain the digital certificates. Some servers, some softwares like Windows Server include CA software as well, which enables companies to set up their own internal certificate authorities. Domain registrar is a company authorized by ICANN to register internet domain names. Okay, because end users, they cannot register their domains name directly with ICANN, so ICANN makes a authority a domain registrar, and users can connect or communicate to them to get a domain name. Network admin is a person responsible for the duties like to keep the networks operational, and he can be involved in overseeing PKI system for a company, but he's definitely not responsible for issuing digital certificates. Internet service provider, they are companies which offer different sort of internets, which can be dial-up, cable modems, ADSL, and can be used to transmit digital certificates, but definitely not responsible for issuing digital certificates. So CA is responsible basically for issuing digital certificates. Let's move forward. Which is following is the lowest trusted computer system evaluation criteria, TCSEC. This is also one of the most important questions. It's also known as Orange Book. It represents system protected by mandatory access controls. We choose option number C. Division B is the lowest TCSEC security division, which represents system protected by MAX. And this one is really important question, like verified protection, mandatory protection, discretionary discretionary protection, and minimal protection. Okay, so it's B is the answer. Which is the following object-oriented programming phrase best describe the object which greatly depends on other objects? High coupling and low cohesion, low coupling and low cohesion, low coupling and high cohesion. And this answer is, I think answer is A, because high coupling and low cohesion. So you should know the difference between the coupling and cohesion. Coupling is like dependency on different modules. Cohesion within the module, how is its dependency with other parts of the module. So yeah, so this describes the object which greatly depends on other objects. So we should please read more about the high coupling and low cohesion difference. Let's move to next question. Which of the following database is typically used by DNS servers? Is it object-oriented database, hierarchical database, host file database, or relational database? So DNS is like a tree. If you see DNS, so we'll choose hierarchical database. Let's see the answer. Yeah. So this is a database type is used by DNS servers. It resembles a tree where the root is the base of the tree and other records form branches and leaves. Okay. It uses a hierarchical database to store information about how to resolve IP addresses to domain names. It's not a host file database. It's like a flat file database which stores domain name registration information locally when a DNS server is not available. Okay. Same object-oriented database is not a database type which is used by DNS servers. It is used by object-oriented programming. Relational database is also not a type. It's also not a database type which is used by DNS servers. It creates relationship between records in tables by using the primary key. Yeah, we should know about primary key as well. Primary key is a unique identifier which is assigned to a single record in a table. Records in different tables can be associated by inserting the primary key of a record from one table into foreign key cell in a record in another table. So basically primary key is a unique identifier which is used in relational database. So DNS is using the hierarchical database. Okay, the last question. Which of the following is another name for hypervisor? Virtual machine? No. Infrastructure as a service? No. Platform as a service? No. Virtual machine monitor? Yes, it should be virtual machine monitor. Yeah, this is also a good concept. We should know about the difference between IaaS, PaaS, okay, in which their form of cloud computing environment, what it does, how they work. Please read more about them. Okay, thank you for the day.